I'm going to just really quickly tell the story of how I got my testimony. I was challenged to come to BYU, Idaho by 2 missionaries. I went my first 2 semesters at BYU, Idaho without having a testimony in God, in the church, in Jesus, in anything. My 3rd semester, it was fall 2015, so it's been almost a year. I took Intro to Mormonism, and everyone in that class is either not a member, a recent convert, or they had been inactive their whole life like I had. I remember walking in that room and I saw a lot of people who were just like me, and we were all kind of lost and we knew it. At that point, I wasn't willing to learn about the gospel or learn about God. I really just thought, this is just garbage, like it's not for me. Up until like the middle of November, I was just kind of like coasting through it. I wasn't really paying attention to anything. We had a lesson in class. We were talking about the plan of salvation. This girl raised her hand and she asked whether we would be able to visit our family members if they never came back to church or if they never joined the church. My professor said, well, we don't really have a solid answer for that question. That night, I remember going to my apartment. I got a brand new little Book of Mormon that all the missionaries hand out. And I started reading that, and I started underlining words that had to do with God or the Spirit or Jesus Christ. Suddenly I started reading and I started to understand what the words were saying. And that was something that was really weird for me, because before I had just read the Book of Mormon and I was like, okay, I don't understand what this language is. I slowly started to gain a testimony of God, and it was kind of weird at first because I was always afraid of it, because I was afraid to feel the Spirit. It was just such a foreign thing to me. The idea of a God existing was just so big for me to comprehend at the time that I was just like, no, like I'm not ready for it. What really drove me was my little brother. If you guys were there for my last speech, I kind of talked about him. He is autistic and he is my entire world. My entire purpose in life that I have decided for myself is to be there for him no matter what he needs. And since he is severely autistic, I've been told that he's supposed to go to the celestial kingdom because he is already perfect. He just came here to get a body. That's what really drove me to gain a testimony, because I decided that it was sad if I wouldn't be able to visit my family if we were in different kingdoms. But he needs me, and he needs me to be there for him. My entire drive was, whether this is real or not, I would rather live my life and try to get into the celestial kingdom and be with my brother. And if it was all for nothing, that's fine, because at least I was a better person. And if it is real, then at least I get to be with him. I know I'll see my family again someday. At some point, I feel that we will be able to be together again. So now I do have a testimony of God. I do believe that he is there. I believe that Jesus was like a real guy. There are still some things I'm working on, but I do feel okay when I think about Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon. At this point in my life, I'm just trying to continue to build my testimony. Because of Intro to Mormonism, I have a testimony. I wish you guys could all take that class and just see how much it changes people's lives. But thank you guys so much for being my classmates and not judging me when I mentioned that I had been inactive. That's something that I haven't really felt my whole life, especially when I first came back to church. So thank you guys so much for just being the people that I need to be around and for just sharing your lights with me.